And we're live.
Okay, fantastic. So, welcome to the monthly live stream for FPS. Does everyone want to introduce themselves? Who wants to go first? Jay. Jay, go first.
Hi, I'm Jay. I'm a writer and filmmaker, and my channel's called The Director's Logbook. And yeah, I also write songs occasionally. Is that enough?
Yep, that is fine. Sorry if I looked distracted then. I had the video with sound on and just suddenly I was hearing everything back again. So, just sorting that out. Henry.
Hi, I'm Henry. I'm a software developer, and my channel kind of follows along with that. I make software developy type videos with a slight entertaining factor to them, I guess.
Don't undersell yourself. More than slightly entertaining. And I'm Jules. I'm a PhD student and sort of part-time making YouTube stuff. Yep. Never know what to say with this, do I? So links to all our channels should be in the description, as is the playlist for this, well, last month's videos. So if you haven't watched the videos made for November's prompt, do that now. Otherwise, we're going to start talking about them. So first of all, we have Matt's video.
Yes.
So opening thoughts. I thought it was nice and atmospheric. I enjoyed it.
Yes, it was good. I'm trying to, because that was, I watched them all so long ago. I probably should have actually watched them again before the stream, but it was really good, and I mean it's a good song anyway, so that was bound to win it over.
Yeah, I thought that his use of low light and just like how the color was all the way through was really clever, considering the prompt. So yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, the prompt was red sky at night. We didn't actually say that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't think he said what. He said he was doing a camera test, but I don't think in the description it says which camera. I'd have loved to have known which camera.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd be able to join us, and then we could have talked spec.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was making a short film which I don't think is publicly available yet online, but will be at some point.
Yes.
But yes, he had to do some sort of low lighting nighttime shot and wanted to see what the camera could do, how it handled it, and thought he would use the footage for something else productive.
There's one shot, I think it's at 0:26 with there's a guy standing there and there's like two lights on his left and one on his right, and it just looks incredible, that one.
That's very nice.
I absolutely love that shot. Really, really nice.
I do like as well the contrast of the light in some of the shots. So like the foreground's all very orange with like the backgrounds being all like more bluey. It just kind of draws things that are kind of in like I guess the subject. I don't know camera talk. Like the subject of the actual clip is all orange, whereas the backgrounds are kind of fading towards blue.
Yeah. No, it's really evocative. I'm getting a bit mesmerized by it now, like going through it.
Yeah, I'd also like to know if you did any post like color grading, or whether he left it as the raw footage for like the camera test, or whether he tweaked it after. Yeah,
it'd be good to know that actually, because I was wondering that.
Yeah. If he does, he said he might pop up in the chat later. So if he does, we can quickly divert back and be like, "How did you do the thing?" Yeah. So
yeah.
There's a bit where a couple of people look directly into the camera.
That's also a thing I'd love to talk about, is filming people just out and about in public, and like the awkwardness and the ethics of that.
Yeah. I don't know what the rules are with that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I know in America you can kind of just go for it, can't you?
I think you kind of can here because of like the regulations around CCTV, so that's okay.
I think it's more if you're interviewing somebody that you have to get written permission. I don't know.
Guess, yeah.
Yeah, I should know this, but I've forgotten everything I learned. So.
I know in France they're really strict on like public privacy, and like technically you can't even just take photographs around with other people's faces in them.
Wow.
Wow.
But it's not that enforced. but they do have quite weird regulations around it in France. So be careful if you're a tourist in Paris. So I'm sure it's fine. So.
I'm sure, yeah, like it's got to come up a lot in Paris.
Yeah. Because I mean, like if it's just background shots and things, but like quite often when I've just been filming like those sorts of shots just in public, I find that when I'm like, you know, panning across or doing something like that, I'll accidentally be following somebody, and then I feel like, oh no, I've made them like the center of the shot. Now is that awkward? And
I think it's fine when you're like in a public place somehow, but then you got to be really careful if you accidentally film kids.
Yes,
that's always annoying for me, because you'll be filming something and then children will walk into it, and then you're like, oh, can't film anyone,
great,
can't use it.
Yeah, I mean, slightly unrelated, but I had a similar issue during my PhD, because like I've had a couple of studies that I've run where I'm following someone who's using an app or navigating. So my research is to do with maps, and I video record so that I can make notes later. And one of my routes took me past a playground, and it's just, I'd always just make sure I angle the camera away from the playground and just have my person at the edge of the shot, just like, like, please don't say anything. I always made sure I had a letter of like, I'm officially doing research for the university kind of with me just in case, but it was always fine.
God.
You just need one overly protective parent.
Yeah. I didn't even consider that, you know, like.
I came up in my ethics review for that research.
Lord.
So, any more thoughts on Matt's video? I really like the music, like as a choice, and also like he did a really good cover of it as well.
Yes, definitely.
Generally think creative people tend to fit into multiple categories of creative stuff. So.
Yes.
I like the use of water here and there as well. I think it breaks up the images, because at night it can get quite repetitive, but because he's filmed water and the reflections, I thought that was quite a nice addition. Yeah, and actually it's funny that we talk about people. If this didn't have the people he filmed in it, it wouldn't be as effective. It's really nice that he's just had the freedom to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just do it.
And if anyone gets upset, just delete that clip.
Yeah, and say you're sorry.
Yeah. Right. Shall we move on to
the second time? Oop. No, I was just saying I was just watching it a second time to see if I pick up anything else. It is really good. And some of the like what would you call them? I mean, they're all establishing shots. Like the wider shots, like of the buildings. I think at 119. I just like that angle on the building. It looks really pretty.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a film boy. You'd expect that sort of like good stuff from him.
Okay, so shall we move on to the next video then?
Yeah.
Or any closing thoughts on the first one?
Do we have any questions for him? Have we already done that? I completely.
True. Yes. So if Matt does show up later, or watches it back and everything, and hopefully YouTube keeps a hold of the live chat, fingers crossed. So yeah, any questions, in the chat or from us. I would like to know more details of his, the camera, the lens, what kind of settings he was using, that kind of thing, because I don't know much about shooting in low light. So tips would be appreciated.
And it would be interesting, because he said it was a camera test.
Yeah.
What he thought of it as well would be interesting. What he found with it.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so video number 2 then.
This is yours, isn't it?
It is. This is my first time that I've done a video that I would consider definitely not under the proper short film category, and more under the it's a video therefore it counts category.
Right.
So more YouTubey. So
I have a question. I have a question. How did you get the overhead so well? Like the overhead camera?
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
So good.
Right. Actually, if you go to my Twitter, I did actually tweet a picture of my camera setup because it was very precarious. So I'm pretty sure, I'll double check it was, I did tweet it. But yes, I had a tripod, which I had on my desk.
Just saw it. I just saw the photo.
Yeah, so for anyone who's not able to find the picture, it was a tripod on my desk, which the problem is when you have a tripod in the shot, and if you angle it a bit so that you don't, then you get a slightly awkward, not quite overhead shot. So I tied some string to the table leg, wrapped that around the back of the table, and then tied that to the tripod, and then just extended the back tripod leg a bit and used the string to stop it tipping forward, and then got a very nice straight down. But precarious is definitely the word.
That's what I was wondering. So it's the string that made it an absolute straight.
That was what was stopping it tipping forward.
Oh,
so I got it.
Good God.
So when I've done that, I've never been able, like, maybe it's your tripod goes all that way. My tripod won't bend like perpendicular. Is that the right word?
Oh, mine does, yeah.
Oh, so it just naturally goes all the way.
It can go all the way down, but you get the legs in the way. So that was to get the legs out of the way a bit.
Oh, I see. Okay, great.
What?
Yeah, yes, it's definitely on my Twitter. If you go to @JulesEnder and then go to media, you'll find it down a little bit.
I posted the link to the photo on the message chat.
You are practical and think of these things. I know how to internet.
I was just going to ask Jules, what? Because I need a new tripod because mine's mysteriously broken. I.e., it's like 6 years old, and I kind of threw it in the corner one day, and it just buckled. What is your tripod? Because that looks. I need something that.
Remember what it's
like
called off the top of my head. I could go find it in the other room if you'd like me to. But it cost me about £15 on Amazon a couple of years ago, and it's lasted quite well. So
yeah, it just looks quite sturdy.
I will. I'll go find it later then after the stream, and I will either stick it in the video description or pin a comment or something with a. Yeah, if only I had Amazon affiliate links.
Well, just because there's a couple of times that I've wanted like a top-down shot of me typing on my keyboard, but like no way of doing that without balancing my camera on something not designed for that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I used to use a similar kind of method, which the video I did of making my banner art, I have a shot at the start of me using my GorillaPod on my camera around the arm that sticks out of a lamp that I have, like one of the sort of ones you have the standing lamp with a little side bit that comes off. And I stuck that out over my table and wrapped it around, but it's not as easy to get it lined up and stable. It kind of the weight of the camera makes it drop a little bit.
Oh, gosh.
So yeah.
Also, I was wondering about the lighting because it's really evenly lit. Was that just a photography light?
That was just the window.
Oh my goodness!
It was a nice day for lighting.
Wow, it stayed really even the whole way through.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, I lucked out that it stayed kind of slightly overcast and yeah. So it would have otherwise just had like the sort of, you'd be able to see the outline of my blinds as the light came through them otherwise. But yeah, I have a standing lamp with a daylight bulb in it, which also was on, but mostly it was the window.
How long did it take? And was it all done in one shot?
Ooh, it was pretty much done in. I did take a break, I think, at one point, but it was maybe an hour and a half. I'm trying to think. I took a few brief pauses to let bits dry and then came back to it. But I think I had about an hour and a half of footage from the overhead camera. So, yeah.
And
you've got two. Oh, sorry.
No, you go. I've asked loads of questions.
I was going to say, you've got two cameras here, haven't you? So there's one for like the close-up and then one for the top-down.
Yeah, I had my DSLR Canon 70D and just had that on the little Gorilla Pod and was popping it in various places to get a few close-up shots as I was doing stuff to break things up.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to ask?
I was going to ask how much, what percentage you speeded it up?
Oh, it was a lot. Trying to think. It's a mixture of two. I should have checked this. I think the first part isn't as fast, I think, before I cut to a different angle. I think that was about 2,000%.
Oh, wow.
And then I think it was more like 6,000 after that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just a very long video.
Yeah.
It's
What
when you're doing the clouds. Oh, sorry, I did it again.
No, it's because no, you go, then I'll ask.
I was just going to say you can tell it at the speed up when you're doing the clouds. Your hands just suddenly start flying all over the spot, like.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask what you use to edit. Is it Premiere?
Premiere, yeah.
Oh, you went to 6,000 because I was wondering if it's a different software, it uses different percentages. That's really fast. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, before I've done a time lapse, and it was the banner art one again. I had to max out the percentage you could do, render that, and then I doubled that again because I couldn't get it. It was just taking so long because that did take me. Like I really nicely didn't knock my tripod, but that literally took me a whole day to paint that old one. Yeah. So I was coming and going and filming in lots of chunks. So yeah, that was a lot of footage to combine down, quite a few hours.
You should try. Have you heard about that? I think it's a thing now. Like I think a lot of channels do it, but there was I think it was a Norwegian channel that started just filming ships like cruising. It just set up like cameras and it's just, I think the one I saw was just one camera on a ship and it's just like hours and hours of it just traveling and you don't see people, there's nobody talking, and I think it's called slow TV. So maybe you should do like a version where you just put the long version with just music and see what happens.
Maybe somewhere with fiber broadband, because that video that I uploaded that's like 2 minutes took 2 hours to upload.
Oh gosh.
So I'm kind of limited by my internet speed.
Oh well.
But yeah, maybe one day.
It'd just be funny to see what would happen.
I am dreading uploading this next video that we're doing for December because I'm going to have to do it from home on Cumbrian internet, which is going to take like, God, I used to upload 10-minute videos and they'd take like 300 minutes. So like, it's going to be a while. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Oh God, and they're going to be in the HD as well. God knows how long that'll take.
I'm trying to think if there was anything I wanted to bring up about the video.
I love the colors.
Yes.
Thank you. I love how vibrant gouache paint is, which I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah, because I've used watercolor and acrylics, but I've never used gouache before.
What was your inspiration for the landscape in the picture?
It is pretty much a copy of a drawing I did for Inktober in 2017.
Okay.
So it was pretty much the same of the mountains with the clouds, the fields, and the hillside, but I had a couple sitting and watching a shooting star in that one. But that was just a simple line art ink drawing. And that sort of style of landscape evolved through Inktober. So I thought that it might be fun to go back to that because I hadn't actually used it since I finished doing Inktober that year. So I thought I would redo one of them and see how it goes. And once I'm not doing my PhD, I might do a series of different landscapes in that style using the gouache. But don't have time. So
unrelated to the actual painting you made, those two paintings next to it at the end, the banana and the spaceman walking his dog.
Yeah.
You did those?
Yeah.
They're great.
Thank
I
you.
love the banana man.
Those are ones that I did for DoodleTube, which is the Twitter account that inspired starting Film Prompt Society, where they gave a weekly drawing prompt. They've not been very active recently, but yeah, those were ones that were And the banana one was for Fruity Friends, I think was the prompt for that. I can't remember. Oh, egg. That was the Spaceman one. The prompt was just egg. It was around Easter. So I like to do weird things.
No,
So.
honestly, they're really, really good. And I don't know, that just like at 2:30 you can see that what I'm talking about, just in case people in the chat are like, what the hell is he talking about?
Nice censoring there.
I tried my best. But yeah, like the colors in that last scene just kind of, they're great. You got the pinks and greens and then all the oranges and then the banana dude just chilling. I like it. Unrelated to whatever the thing you made, but it's still really nice. Like,
oh, thank you. I'm glad my weird art is appreciated. But if you enjoy my weird art, you can go to my Instagram because that's what I put on there.
I was gonna say, the color scheme for egg prompt, the space man and dog. This is complete tangent, but when you opened up a Game Boy Color and put in an old Game Boy game and press the directional buttons on the screen, you changed the two colors that were based as the black and white colors in the game. And if you press right, green and pink would be the chosen colors for black and white, so that all your games would look like that. I think that's why I like it so much. It's very nostalgic. Like I used to do that with Pokemon Red all the time.
I had no idea that you could change the color because I used to have a lot of old Game Boy games on my Game Boy Color.
It's on
I never realized that. I do have my Game Boy Color somewhere. I'll try that at some point.
It's when the Nintendo logo is falling down, and if you just press up, down, left, or right, you'll change the color of the thing.
How did I never know
that? I don't know how I discovered it. Like I was probably an impatient child
pressing buttons. Whereas I was there just holding my breath that the Nintendo logo would come down and not do the weird corrupted, the game's not correctly inserted thing. So.
Oh my god. Nostalgia.
Right, so do you want to move on to the third and final film, or any other thoughts or critiques? Yeah, that's right. Rip the video apart. What was the worst thing about it? Go. Help me improve.
That it wasn't longer.
Yeah. Do the non-speeded version.
All right, so let's get on to the third video then on the playlist, which is Henry's video.
It me.
So is this something that you wrote as code and then let it run?
100%, yeah. So shall I just kind of explain it?
Yeah, talk us through the coding process. Not too much, because I'm quite tired.
So it's like the second you said Red Sky at Night, I was thinking, right, there's the old like the saying, but then also we just got over the fact that the Bonfire Night was happening for more than a night. I think it went on for about 2 weeks in Manchester, but yeah, I just got used to seeing fireworks out the window, and most of which were red, which is why I kind of went, oh, fireworks, that's cool. And then I kind of just, because I wasn't originally going to do fireworks, I was going to have like kind of ASCII like rain kind of trickle down, and then leaving like artifacts behind that slowly build up a picture as it rains down.
Oh, wow.
And I did have a solution for that made, but I don't think it looked as good as I was expecting it to look. So I scrapped that. I still have it on my computer, but I'm not happy with it. So I kind of went, okay, I'll try and do this firework thing, and just initially got the physics for the fireworks to like go up and burst and then shrink down. And I had Nia and Dan helping me out because they were like, oh, I want to like help with the fireworks thing. Did I send it to you, Jules? I can't remember.
Yes, you put it on the Film Prompt Society Discord.
Yes. Yeah.
And I took a look at it from there. So yeah, if you join the Discord, there's fun stuff like this happening.
But yeah, just to get people's perceptions of how fireworks works, because I coded it and then I was like, okay, I think I know how fireworks physics work. But then someone else will go, oh, but they kind of do this when they fall down, so the explosion sparks kind of trickle down a little bit. I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then there was the, oh yeah, but now you need the big burst, and some of them need little bursts and stuff. And one that Jamie suggested that I did start working on, but I didn't actually put in the video, was like double fireworks. So when one goes up and another one, like, it explodes and there's another one inside it, sort of thing. And I was working on that and rainbow fireworks as well, but I just didn't get around to putting it as part of the video. But I like the red fireworks anyway, because that was kind of the point of it. And then the cats in the foreground were just to kind of liven it up a little bit, and they were the biggest bane of my existence, really, because to get the shadows working for them was, I wanted to be clever about it and kind of have the shadows angle depending on the position of the firework. And I did have something working until so basically the cats are saved PNG images, which allow an alpha layer, which is just transparency layer. And it was all working fine. And then what I was doing is I was just inverting those pixels to face down and coloring them in like in the same color black, but altering the alpha value depending on the intensity of the firework. The issue with that is there's apparently some pixels that weren't 100% alpha'd on the cat, so that there'd be weird artifacts. Just like the shadow would have 2 dots next to the side of it for literally no reason. I was getting really frustrated. So what I did was I just drew another like upside down cats and then just like made them glow in it. And I was like, that'll do. That's fine. But that was the bit that took me the longest because of all the issues I was having with it.
Clever.
Yeah, and Jamie helped me with the light, because originally I had green grass and had just darkened it so it was dark green, but then Jamie was like, oh, light kind of acts differently, and in the darkness it would kind of go to a more like bluey tone, I guess, which is yeah. I had a lot of help with this one from people, which was really nice. But yeah, that is the 2 cats looking at fireworks.
Oh, I'm trying to think, because you've answered most of my questions.
Sorry.
So.
Well, I really liked the intro to this one. I like that it had the live video. That really added a lot for me. I really enjoyed that.
It was just kind of like B-roll. I originally wasn't going to be like speaking over the top of it, and I kind of just wanted text, and I like toyed with it, and it was either I don't know. I'm not happy with my voice in that at all, because I've got quite a nasally voice. At least it sounds nasally to me. And like voiceovers, I don't think it works that well unless it's comical. So
I think it was fine. Like there was nothing wrong with it. I think it's if you're not used to doing it, it'll take some time to get used to your own voice. Like I thought it was really nice.
Like I'm quite happy with my voice in the rest of my videos, but that's because whoopsie doopsie, it's all silly and like. But this one I kind of want not to be serious, but just to be like a neutral, like I can't explain it. But
chill.
Yeah.
Which it was.
Yeah.
No, it was really nice, and it kind of felt like it was the beginning of a storybook, and then you kind of go into the other element.
I should have got the page folding effect on it. Oh my god. Because I do, in the video edit I use Corel Video Studio. Again, it's the cheap version of the big ones. It's something like 30-40 quid, which was like, yeah, I'll get that because it's quite comprehensive. But they do have a page fold transition that I should have used. One thing I'm not happy with, and it might just be on my Mac screen here, but YouTube seems to have made the whole video a lot darker, like insanely darker compared to how it is on my actual screen. Because like to the point that it's kind of hard to tell what's going on during the fireworksy bit.
Yeah, I think that sometimes that happens, and I'm not sure if it's YouTube or if it's the export. Like if it's on a different screen, because that happens to my stuff sometimes.
Well, I tested it out on the Mac screen and on my Windows screen as well, and it was fine. But it's just when it went up to YouTube and they came back, and I was like, "You can't see a single star in that sky." Like,
I wonder if it's the way they compress it has done to the blacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of filmmakers hate putting. Oh, that's why a lot of filmmakers use Vimeo, because they won't put it on YouTube because it destroys what they wanted.
Yeah.
I don't care, but
you're about to call me mad right now. So the stars were another point of like that I deliberately made them specific to. So NASA has published a picture of the entirety of all the constellations, right?
I see where this is going.
So I saved that, and I did have it working initially, so that depending on the stars that were above me right now, the second, it would show that night sky there. The issue was, though, the night sky above me at that moment in time that I was recording this was awful. Like, it just looked boring. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to make it shuffle around randomly until I get the swoosh of the Milky Way. And then I got it finally in that one, but you can't see it because it's so dark. It does have like the thick star kind of pattern in the middle. It is
frustrating
very
when you've put effort and thought into something and then doesn't show
Yeah.
through because of the way it, presumably the way it compresses the video.
I showed my housemate the stars thing, and he just kind of walked out my room like.
It's like, oh dear.
I just changed it to HD. It wasn't on HD on mine, and that helped.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I would do that, but there's a risk that suddenly the stream will drop out
Oh my God,
if I
that
try and
helps,
take too much internet.
that does help loads.
Mine was on 360. Don't know why.
Oof.
Yeah. Got it on 1080 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I can see it much clearer.
It's still quite dark though. Oh well. Tips for next
Shame.
time: make video a lot brighter.
Yeah, it is weird how YouTube messes stuff up. Like, there's certain video formats that you think would be absolutely fine, and then it just like slightly desyncs the audio from the video and things like that. Like, I've never managed to work out why. So,
Yeah, it's odd. There's been a couple of times that I've had to upload twice because of God knows what's happened. There's one time I uploaded a video, and you know when you've got a broken digital camera and it shows like a big green splodge kind of like on the screen with a load of red dots in it and all kinds of crap going on. That happened to my video for whatever reason. That was just in my video. And I looked at the raw footage and stuff, and then I looked at the file that was produced from my video editor, and it was fine. It's just when it got uploaded to YouTube, something bad happened, like something real bad. So I had to re-upload it. That was the dog video.
I mean, I had to re-upload my video from November, not because YouTube messed up, but because I forgot to color grade one shot. And it just looked really awful. It just suddenly changed for like, and I was like, nope. Gonna spend another 2 hours uploading this.
That's really annoying when that happens.
Yeah, I watched through the video that I rendered as well. I just wasn't paying attention at that point, apparently. It's so annoying.
Yeah, that kind of thing really scares me because it's amazing. Like, you can watch something like so many times and still not catch something. And I'm terrified with the feature film.
Oh.
I need to get other people to watch it as well.
Yeah, send it to loads of people.
Yeah. So we need to watch something.
Yeah, I mean, I almost ended up having to do it again because, the first time I rendered it, I did spot it, but I forgot to flip one of the videos because I shot the overhead shot from behind, so it was all upside down.
Yeah.
And it was just upside down for one shot, and thankfully that was enough that I noticed.
Oh, Dan says I have a last-minute submission.
Oh, we're about to get rickrolled. I'm suspicious.
I'm nervous. What is this? What is this
Someone
video
else
that I'm
is
clicking on
looking
right now?
All right, we're all just nervously opening videos.
Yeah, you called it. Like,
Yes. Fool! You
oh
thought
my
you could trick
gosh.
us. I am always suspicious of rickrolling.
Oh, good lord.
Having
I thought
rickrolled people recently in one of my videos. If you follow through some links in the description, I may have rickrolled recently. So saw it coming down.
oh gosh. Right, so which film is it? There's a film that I've seen very recently where at the end of it the like after credit scene is just a Rickroll. Oh no, that was it. It was a short cartoon for Wreck-It Ralph 2. And the video was just a Rickroll at the end. So it was after the trailer credits, and there's a Rickroll at the end of it.
Fair enough.
God, why is that coming back? Who brought that back? Who let that come out of 2006?
It's because people like our age and a bit older are now like in the film studios. So yeah, it's the late 20, early 30-year-olds to blame.
Oh gosh. There's a Rickroll in Pacific Rim 2 as well, Dan says.
I've not seen that, so I have that to look forward to when I eventually get around to watching that.
Rim is a Rickroll. In my opinion. Favorite film. Sorry for the fun.
So,
oh really?
Do we have more points for Henry's film, or are we good? We discussed that. I'm trying to think of anything else I want to say.
I think I lost everything or said everything.
Yeah,
I didn't mind.
Yeah, it was nice and relaxing. Good time. Okay, so shall we then move on to the second phase of this video, which is talking about Christmas films?
Yeah.
In which case, I must engage Christmas mode.
Oh my god.
Oh, I didn't think of that. I've got my little antler things as well. I didn't bring them, never mind.
We have no decorations in our own rooms, but the living room is decked to hell. Like, there's just tinsel over absolutely everything. But sadly, my room is blank. Yeah.
Right. I'm just going to leave it to be less distracting than on my head.
I just don't want them to catch fire in your hair.
Oh no, it's a tiny little string.
Oh, that's all right then. They're not.
Pull that ones. Can't hear you guys. No, it's just I bought this. To be fair, it is from Pound World, so like it could just explode.
Oh, fantastic!
So. I'm just having visions of like, yeah. Right.
See, we got all our stuff from what is it, Pound Stretcher? So, the Pound shops are where it's at for Christmas decks.
Yeah. I think these are a bit bright. It's distracting me. So.
Oh.
Okay.
So, Christmas films. Where do we want to begin? Do we want to talk about what makes a good Christmas film or a bad Christmas film? Our favorite Christmas films? I don't know.
See, I think there's a weird intersection between good Christmas films and bad Christmas films, in that I love Elf, but not for the reasons that you should love it. Like, I like Elf because it's a real bad film. Like,
I have never seen Elf because the trailers for it make it just look like cringy, and I can't handle cringy comedy. It's
dumb. Like,
I feel too much empathy for people on screen, and I feel so awkward, and I can't do it.
It's like, oh, Will Ferrell, you had to real life do that in real life. That's a thing that you did, and now you're acting, but you did it. And it's got what's it called? What's he called?
Dan, we will get on to Die Hard. I have opinions on Die Hard as a Christmas film. We will get there.
Peter Dinklage is in Elf from Game of Thrones, and so is there's so many actors in that film. so many actors that they slip in there just kind of as like a side actor, and like, by the way, we managed to get this person to come along and ruin their career. Also,
So
Home Alone.
what makes it good and bad for you then? I'm curious.
Elf is bad because of every single reason you could think of a film being bad.
Great.
Elf is good because it's become kind of a family tradition to watch Elf at Christmas. But also, we got used and over the jokes. Probably about the second watching of the film. Like, we're done with the jokes. But that's what made them kind of funnier for us. Like, I'll go home and the first thing my mum will say to me is like, do you want to watch Elf or do you want to watch Love Actually? But it'll always be Elf, then Love Actually. And yeah, it's because it's a bad film, but we've experienced this trauma as a family that we feel like we can do this every year.
Okay. Fair enough.
That is my review of Elf.
I don't know what I think of it. Because I think when I watch it, I enjoy it, but it's
Yes.
I would never recommend it as a film.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, right.
But then, actually, I think every Will Ferrell film, I would feel like that. There's nothing I would be
100%.
like. So it's just, maybe it's just, you know, I don't know. Yeah.
I think the only Will Ferrell film I'd recommend is Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh
yeah.
my god, yeah, I forgot about that one.
So that's
Yeah.
actually quite good.
It is. I totally forgot that he was in it because he plays a very different. Well, in a way, he plays quite a different character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome, Dan.
Oh my god, Dan's here to argue for Die Hard.
Oh,
Right, Die Hard is the best Christmas film. Can't take that away from me.
Okay, so convince me that Die Hard is a Christmas film and not just an action movie set at Christmas.
Right. If it was an action movie set at Christmas, then Christmas would be a key element of the plot of the film. In order for the film, it has to be a Christmas film. Otherwise, there'd be no reason why there'll be an Economic Plaza. There'd be no reason why Alan Rickman's character, Hans Gruber, would even be attempting this heist, because it wouldn't work any other time other than Christmas. What else? There'd be no reason why John McClane would even be in the area, because he was going down there to see his kids and his ex-wife at Christmas time. There is no... If even one of those elements weren't in place, then the film wouldn't work, and therefore it wouldn't be an actual working movie. And for a Christmas movie to work, you have to have the main plot of whatever movie you like. So a rom-com, you can have any rom-com at Christmas, but for it to be a Christmas rom-com, Christmas has to be a core element of the rom-com. Same thing with comedies, same thing with dramas, same thing with any movie at all. I will argue this to the death.
At what point? What would you need to... I don't know, I always feel like Christmas films need someone to look you in the eye and go, hey, by the way, this is a Christmas film. Like,
Right, we got...
otherwise, because I mean, that's kind of the point of Christmas, that it's in your face and like overtly like be a part of this. We're all celebrating and there's tinsel everywhere.
Okay,
So
there is tinsel, there is a Christmas tree, there is... What else? There's someone dressed up as Santa.
Okay, no, that might
so-
have it actually then.
There's somebody who gets tied up with both like tinsel and like Christmas lights in order to bind him to a chair, even though he's already a corpse. And then it says on his big Christmas jumper, "Welcome to the party, pal," the iconic line from the movie.
So, are you telling me that Die Hard is just the Santa Claus bit where they're trying to break out Charlie out of jail at the end of it,
No,
but kind of for a whole film?
no, it's better than that. Die Hard
Okay.
is a sequel. Okay, a sequel to Home Alone.
wow.
I don't want this information, Dan.
Right, John McClane is the alias for ex-convict Evan McAllister.
I see. I see. Does he make reference, though? I'd 100% agree with you if he made reference to an old movie quote.
I mean, he doesn't, but he's got very similar reactions to the situation that he's in. Like the average person, if they're in a terrorist type situation or a house burglar sort of situation, then your immediate reaction would be, I'm going to call the police. It seems like a good idea. Now, in both situations, they do call the police, but the police don't listen, right? Or at least in Kevin's case, he attempted to contact somebody, but he couldn't. In both their reactions immediately afterwards were not, I have to get myself out of this situation so I don't die, like a normal person, but they were, I am the only person who can stop this from happening. And in both situations, both of them almost die multiple times. So therefore, because of the laws of human nature, they have to be the same person. This doesn't make any sense. I'm very tired.
Going back to your
Fantastic,
earlier points about how the plot could not be set up if it wasn't at Christmas, I would argue a good meeting with a couple of the writers could very easily explain a different scenario for the same thing happening with just a few tweaks of details.
It could, but right, there aren't many other scenarios, especially in America, in which you'd have a large number of people from a business who would be all in a social environment rather than a work environment, all kind of just hanging around in the same room. Because in order for the plot to work, they all have to be in the same room. If you see what I mean. Like, the only other situations where that would work is if it was either a birthday party or some form of funeral. Now, it would be very difficult to plan for both of those to happen. So the only time you'd be absolutely certain that everybody would be in the same room is if it's at Christmas time.
But surely it could be a leaving do for somebody at the workplace after work hours. No one else is in the building. Everyone's in that one place for that party.
But you can't plan a heist around that, can you? Like,
potentially you can. You know they're retiring.
Okay, right. Let's say you know they're retiring, right? Obviously, this person is elderly. They're going to be tired. What if they say, "Can we move the party to a different day so that I can have time to rest?" What are you going to do then? The only solution is the one party that you can't exactly reschedule is a Christmas party because it's too big.
And can I just say that did you know that the screenwriter said that Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
Yeah. What do you say, is or isn't?
If the screenwriter says that.
So do you say is or isn't?
Then it must be.
So do you say it is or isn't? I couldn't hear.
It is. It is. He tweeted, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Hashtag Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
But now we have to go into the discussion of death of the author.
Oh. Did he die?
Lovely hat, Dan.
Thank you. It doesn't fit on me.
Well, let's say we agree to disagree rather than just talk about Die Hard for the next 20 minutes or so.
On to Die Hard 2.
Good lord.
Do I have to boot you from the chat?
Okay, but I'm going to leave just in a second anyway because I'm tired. But I do also want to say very quickly, like, for me personally, Hot Fuzz is a Christmas movie for two reasons. Number one, watch it at Christmas, because why not? Number two, Santa's in there and he stabs a police.
Yeah.
And you can't have a good Christmas movie without Santa stabbing somebody. Anyway, I'm going to head off. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us. Bye, Dan. Oh, so we're holding that as like the standard now for what's a Christmas movie. You've got Santa stabbing someone. The Dan test.
I have to get rid of my Christmas movies then.
It goes akin with the Bechdel test. It's the Dan test. Is it a Christmas film because you get stabbed by Santa in it?
Yeah.
Jules, what about you? Christmas film?
For me, my like go-to Christmas film is Santa Claus the movie, which is I think
Yeah.
an 80s or 70s film. I can't remember when.
5.
Is this one that a lot of people haven't seemed to have watched? I guess it's getting a bit old now.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like classic story for origin of Santa, and then how corrupt Christmas becomes in the modern era, and comical bad guy, corporate man, and I love it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. That one, it was like first on my list. And is this spoiler? Is it a spoiler if it happens at the beginning?
It's not a spoiler if the film's old, I think. Yeah.
30 years old now.
Like the fact that it deals with, because as far as I'm concerned, they die at the beginning, and then the elves, like it's kind of like a magic.
Like they resurrect them.
Yeah. And I've never, like, there's no Christmas movie that really does that in the same way, where like they literally die at the beginning of the film.
Yeah. Like storm rolls in, they just freeze to death.
And it's so sad. It's like, oh, I love you. I'm gonna freeze in your arms.
Merry Christmas.
Great movie.
I mean, it has to be brought up at some point. The Santa Claus, and the Santa Claus 2, and the Santa Claus 3, and also the fourth one that I didn't realize.
There's a fourth one?
I'm 100% sure, because we were having this discussion. The Santa Claus 4.
Oh, is that the Tim Allen one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, there was only 3. I had no idea what I'm talking about then. Oh yeah, number 3 was the escape clause, wasn't it?
Is that the one with Jack Frost or something? Or is that the second one? The second one's looking for finding a Mrs. Claus, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. And the third one must be about Jack Frost. Yeah, Jack Frost schemed to take over the North Pole. Oh boy.
Yeah, let's not talk about 2 and 3, but I rather enjoy the first one until it gets towards the end, and then it just derails itself as far as I'm concerned.
I remember watching it, but I can't remember the story, which tells me it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I love Tim Allen, so
it starts off with like origin story-esque, and then Santa gets arrested in the second half.
Yeah, this is about the point where it's just like it's like they had several film scripts and they couldn't decide which one they wanted to go with, and just kind of shoved all the ideas into one film, and it just too much happens in the third act.
They break Santa out of jail from the ELFS squad with tinsel, and then the guy looks at the camera and goes, "Tinsel, not just for decoration." And then they also assault several police officers. I don't know how. Like, I thought Santa was supposed to be preaching like naughty or nice and stuff, but like I'm pretty sure assaulting. And one of the police officers was just sat there drinking a cup of coffee, like. And then, breaking someone out of jail is also probably a big no-no as well, even if it is Santa Claus.
Yeah.
But I don't know the rules in Tim Allen's world.
Yeah.
Watch this. I'm gonna have to remind myself of it.
For me, it's not even just that stuff. It's like the his ex-wife and her, is it husband or just partner? But
her husband,
like,
yeah,
they're very like normal adults, not believing in Father Christmas and all that. And then like at the end, they just become like this like giddy children version of themselves that are like, it's Santa. And it's like, no, it's still like that. You know this guy, like It's
he's not the same Santa either.
It's so bizarre. Like just like as characters, it's weird. Like...
So yeah, there's another point actually. Those two, real bad parents. Like Charlie comes home and says, "Hey, I'm excited about Christmas," and then Neil, who's her new partner, who's a psychologist, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Then like diagnoses this child with like this bizarre like mental illness that he thinks he's like obsessed with Santa Claus, even though like he's just a kid who is
like
excited
5.
about Christmas.
Like
But they're like, oh, anything. He's so irrational. He's so irrational. He can't believe in this stuff. So Neil goes off the deep end, like trying to diagnose this kid who's just excited that it's Christmas. And then the mum's like He gets overprotective because she trusts Neil, and of course Neil's a bit just overzealous with his diagnoses. And like Scott's not the best parent either. So like Charlie's so unlucky, but all he's got is Christmas, and then they're trying to take that away from him. So like, I watching this film as an adult is very different watching the film as a child, because there's some things you just accept. You're like, oh, parents are weird. They don't believe in Christmas. That's fine. Yeah. I have a lot to say about Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's enjoyable to watch, but it's
Unfortunately, George, I have to dash.
Yes, you did say you may have to pop off.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about that.
No, that's all right. I'm sure me and Jay can talk stuff for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So.
But it's nice to be part of the stream.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what people make for December's prompt, because I love gingerbread.
Gingerbread's good.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys.
Okay, see ya. Bye.
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 And then there were two.
So what else did you have on your Christmas movie list?
Well, this year there was a film on Netflix, The Christmas Chronicles, which I watched yesterday with my mum.
Yeah.
And going to see if anyone else had watched it, but I guess it's just... Have you watched it?
I watched some of it.
Okay.
What did you think?
I really liked it. I enjoyed myself.
Maybe I was in the wrong frame of mind, because I think Kevin and I watched it together. I can't remember if he liked it or not, but I just couldn't get into it. I felt like I couldn't get beyond nothing was happening. But maybe because it's a film, isn't it? It's not a series.
Yeah, it's a film.
Yeah, I just couldn't get beyond the first bit of it, so I didn't really get very far into what was happening. But maybe I was in the wrong frame of mind. I think because I was really excited by the trailer. But yeah, what were your points of what did you enjoy about it?
First of all, I really liked that the brother and sister had a proper sibling kind of not getting on, fighting.
Yeah.
They behaved like actual siblings rather than it'd been written by someone who has siblings.
Yeah.
Whereas often I feel like they're written by people who don't and they don't understand.
Yeah.
So that was nice. I quite liked the lore they built around how Santa works. I thought that was quite nice. Not over explaining things, but everything kind of worked that way, the way they did it. It drags a little bit towards the end of the second act when they're trying to fix the sleigh and everything, because basically the sleigh crashes is kind of the thing that happens. It takes a little while, there keeps being another obstacle and it drags a little bit in the middle.
I think that's where I got lost. That's where it lost me, and I didn't make it beyond that. But
yeah. The only thing I really didn't like was the way they did the elves, where obviously they were kind of going for a Minions vibe. They were just a heck of a lot of these very cute little creatures that talked in a slightly gibberish fake language. I'm assuming it was a fake language. And it just really was we're trying to be Minions, which I don't like Minions.
Or
so
as well.
That didn't really add to the experience. But otherwise, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, there's been several I've tried several Netflix Christmas stuff. I thought it was a mistake of trying to watch. It was something with a prince.
The Christmas Prince.
I don't know what it was, but
I really enjoyed that. It was terrible. You watch film, you know it's bad, but I'm loving this. I'm loving this track.
It was because I tried 3 different ones that had similar titles.
Fair enough.
That particular one. I just couldn't get into any of them. I don't know. Maybe I was expecting too much. But on the other hand, we have watched Santa Paws. Have you seen that?
With the dogs?
Yeah, and we enjoyed that. And there's no reason why I should enjoy that.
I've seen that a while ago, assuming that is the one I'm thinking of.
There's lots of them. So I think it was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've watched at some point, but it's been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's no rhyme or reason to what I like these days with Christmas stuff.
I went round friends the other night and we watched a good Christmas film and a bad Christmas film. So we watched Arthur Christmas as the good one, which is one that I really like. And then we also found on Netflix Santa Claus, spelt Claws, and it was about, it had cats in it. And it was so bad. I think it was made by Asylum, who do like all the bad, like sci-fi channel kind of stuff. The plot was that Santa is allergic to cats and so hates cats. And they have these talking cats with very badly animated mouths, which were terrifying. And there's this guy who saw Santa as a child and has like become this crazy obsessed with Santa and like worshipping Santa. And there's this really bizarre, like rather creepy character that's supposed to be endearing, I think, but just came across very creepy.
Wow.
And I couldn't tell you the whole plot because honestly, we weren't watching it that thoroughly. Just chatting with it on and being very confused. There
seems to be a lot of Christmas films out there that are just made for Christmas with no reason and no plot, no like.
Yeah, you can put the kids in front of it for an hour and a half, and that's all it's for.
Yeah. But one of my favourite Christmas films, other than the Santa Claus the movie, the one you mentioned, is the Muppet Christmas Carol. I really like it. Probably because it's a musical. But I used to but it's quite sad and morbid. Like, even though it ends happy. Have you seen it?
Yes, yeah.
Even though
it's the only adaptation of A Christmas Carol that I've seen.
It's the only one. Did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen any other adaptation, I think. Because it's quite a miserable story, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to have a crush on Michael Caine in that film when I was he was an angry old man and I had a crush on him.
I never watched it as a kid because the Muppets used to really scare me.
Oh, that's interesting.
So yeah, I only watched it as a teenager.
Well, that'll be different then, watching it as a teenager.
Yeah.
You need the nostalgia thing to kind of work through the years with you.
Yeah. Oh, Dan says he's also didn't like the Muppets. So I don't know what, it's something about certain puppets and things that just like.
I didn't like any other puppets, but the Muppets I could handle. I didn't like Big Bird. He freaked me out. Or it, whatever it was. It was so frightening in the Sesame Street. It's just,
yeah.
I never liked puppets that were man-sized. That really scared me. Or had feet. Like, puppets shouldn't have feet.
Oh no, Dan says it was about the crush on Michael Caine.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's something about him, and he sang. I was actually reading that he treated, so when he played that character, he'd never treated it like, oh, he was going to be acting with puppets. He treated it as if he was going to win an Oscar, and he took the role really seriously. And I think it comes through. Like, there are some parts that are quite sad, especially with like when he goes back to his relationship and stuff. And I've never seen another actor do that in a film with puppets where they take it really, really seriously. It's quite an interesting approach to it. But yeah, I think those two are the only Christmas movies I class as real Christmas movies, like classic Christmas movies. I couldn't really think of any other ones.
I mean, there's a few sort of in the rom-com genre that I like to watch around Christmas that happen to have some kind of plot revolving around Christmas, but aren't necessarily what I think of as a Christmas movie. It's like, I generally feel a Christmas movie is aimed as a family film, like for kids involving Santa.
Yeah.
And, or at least a message of like, you know, that kids can understand about like family and stuff and not being focused on like romantic relationships and things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quite like to watch the rom-coms anyway. The Holiday.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Because that's, yeah, I watched that the other day while wrapping presents, and it's just like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And Serendipity is another one.
Is that a Christmas one?
It could. Part of it takes place at Christmas, and it's all like the ice rink in New York, and it all just feels kind of.
Oh wait a minute! I forgot the Home Alone ones. I do class those as. I really like those as a Christmas. Well, the one that, yeah, both of them. How many are there? There's
Are
only,
they?
there's,
There are more without Macaulay Culkin.
so it's only the two with.
So yeah, there's only really two, but there are more.
Yeah, because I love the music. I love the soundtrack to that. That feels really Christmas to me. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I've got any. Die Hard I just see as a film at Christmas. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like one of my favorite films.
Yeah, it's a really good film that I enjoy, and I'd happily watch it at Christmas, but I don't put it under the bracket of Christmas films just because, I like the family film, and sadly, I think that's an 18, so,
Yeah.
or at least a 15, I can't remember.
Yeah, probably not now. It keeps dropping, doesn't it? Getting heckled. Yeah, I think it's hard to like determine what makes a good and a bad one, because I really think it just depends on lots of different things. It also depends on like how old you were when you watched it. So that has a massive effect on whether you consider it good later on.
Yeah.
And also just in general, like what other people think of it. And I think it's really hard. Like now, I'm not sure they can make a classic Christmas movie. Like it's harder to do it now.
Yeah.
Because they've done all the tropes and everything. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Love Actually? Because that tends to be brought up as a good Christmas film.
I really like. I love it as a film, but I love all of Richard Curtis's stuff. Somebody on Instagram, like somebody I follow, put that they hated it on their Instagram stories, and then they said, "Don't write me a message. I hate it." And I was like, ah. I don't. I mean, it takes place at Christmas, and it's played at Christmas. But yeah, I don't know that it's a Christmas film. I think I would see it more in his series of films rather than a Christmas film on its own. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree. And yeah, I enjoy watching it, but also it annoys me. I think it hasn't necessarily aged well. Especially with how they treat Mr. I'm going to film you and slightly stalk you, and I get a kiss at the end. Like, there's a few questionable moments.
Definitely. I know it's funny and it's not even that long. Well, I mean it is, but yeah, it's funny how films can date really badly.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of starting to get to, like, I would watch it all the time, but now I'm not as keen on it. So maybe I've had my fill of it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other ones.
Yeah.
I can't really think of any others.
There's a few that I remember watching as a kid, but I don't remember what they were called and things like that.
Yeah.
There was one that I really liked where this guy like crashed at the North Pole and ended up in Santa's like village, and I remember really enjoying it, but I couldn't really tell you much about the plot.
I don't think I've seen that one.
So, because the thing with that one was it was kind of like about moving with the times, and it was Santa's kids wanted to make like video games and things to give to the children, whereas Santa was like, no, these like classic wooden toys is what we do. And
oh, very good. Was it an English film or?
I think it was American.
Okay. I remember that I used to watch. Well, we had recorded on VHS, Pippi Longstocking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I found out later because it was dubbed, but I didn't know that as a kid. Like I just thought it was in English, and then when I watch it now, or I've seen it like later, I was like, how did I not know? Like the lip sync's terrible. I think it was like Norwegian or Swedish or, and I feel like I don't know. Maybe that's more my era. There was a lot of films and TV series that were for kids that were actually imported and dubbed. So I don't know if that's like kind of happens as much, but it used to be quite good because you get some good French stuff.
Because I guess Moomins would have been.
Yeah, I think that was that Danish.
Yeah, and Magic Roundabout as well.
Yeah.
My favourite thing with the Magic Roundabout was the guy who did the narration for it wasn't given the original script. He just had the episode to watch, which is why the narration sometimes is just really abstract because he didn't really know what to say.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah. It's like, we'll just wing it and then we'll just broadcast it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, kind of like YouTube.
Yeah. It's come full circle.
So, what is? Hang on, I need to have a look at. Remind my. Oh yeah, it's gingerbread.
Yes.
So I've just completely lost the charm.
So yeah, gingerbread house or just gingerbread is this month's prompt.
Okay, are we going to talk about some ideas for that?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Have you got any? Are you going to do one?
I'm so stretched for time at the moment, so I'm probably not going to be able to. I was thinking of doing just like making some gingerbread and just making a video of like doing that. Yeah. But then I feel like because last month I did something that was kind of a sort of video I'd normally make, you know, I feel like I can't really do that again necessarily, and I also don't really have the time still to like
if you don't
edit it.
Don't yourself, but
yeah.
I'm just thinking of like how people could maybe take a different angle on that, because my mind immediately goes to gingerbread house or a gingerbread man that's doing something like baked ones. I don't know. I wonder what else you could do with that. I guess drawings, animations.
You know, I just kind of like it. Kind of gives a sort of cozy vibe.
Yeah.
So even if it's not explicitly about gingerbread.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I was thinking maybe people could try and take it to a dark side. Dark side, but like you could also push it and make it a bit maybe scary or more like fantasy legend or something like that. Probably thinking of that. What's the one where the two brother and sister go off into the woods and get
Hansel and Gretel?
Yeah, that was a gingerbread house, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was gingerbread.
I'll quickly look that up.
Yeah. It's been a while since I read fairy tales.
Oh, it's a house made of everything, isn't it?
No, it's just an edible house.
Yeah, with like lots of confectionery. Yeah, so you could do that kind of thing, or like have a magical property about the gingerbread. Something. Have we got any ideas over there? Oh, later adaptations made it gingerbread. That's why I had that in my head then.
Yeah, I feel like whenever there's like a picture book, that's kind of the style they go for.
Yeah, totally. My brother-in-law, who's Swedish, would make a gingerbread house every Christmas. That was one of the like traditions if we were at their house for Christmas.
That's cool.
I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
So I've made one once, but like from a kit where you have all the pieces like of gingerbread pre-baked and you just kind of stick it together with icing. But I would love to actually like design one. That's what I was kind of thinking of doing for the video, is doing the whole process of like making some templates and doing all that kind of stuff and working out how to build it.
Stand up, isn't it, and not all collapse on itself.
Yeah, it'd be a fun bit of engineering. Like put my DT GCSE to use. So that was in electronics. So
actually, you do a great job. Be like Bake Off.
Yeah, be a smaller scale version of Bake Off, little video.
Yeah. Well, I might get a chance. I'm super busy as well, but it's the kind of thing I would quite like to give a go. Not sure what I would do with it. I'd like to try and do something different with it if I did get a chance.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll get a chance in, like, because often we end up doing the stream quite late in the month, like this month.
Yeah.
So I might get a chance in the start of January. Because, my thesis, I'm hoping to get it sent to my supervisor fairly early on in January and then have a week or two while he's looking at it where I don't have much to do. So maybe then, but we will see. I'm making no promises.
Do you have to do like a revision after you send it to him?
Yeah, so my deadline is the end of January, so the hope is I can send it to him, he'll send it back with some notes, and then I can fix it up and then submit it by the end of the month. But it's going to be tight. So
yeah, I know how you feel, because we've got deadlines with the film. Have to like lock the picture before I can send it to sound, and you've got to like, and there's so much I need to do before that. So
Yeah.
it's horrible when we've got deadlines looming over.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dan said, challenge, make the bake-off tent out of gingerbread.
There we go.
I will consider your challenge.
That's a hard shape, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, maybe I could go really fancy and make like foil shapes to like put the gingerbread around and mold and
Yeah.
bake in 3D shapes.
With everything else you've got to do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, have we come to the end?
I think we have. I think we sort of brought things nicely to a little ending there. So, yeah. Any final thoughts or words of encouragement?
Do something different.
Yeah, that's great.
Use it as an opportunity to get going and make something.
Yeah. Yeah, remember, it doesn't have to be fantastic. Like, maybe I should remember that and just make something quick.
Yeah,
So the whole point is practice, make stuff, even if it's not necessarily great, because you learn from it.
Yeah.
So
it's a safe space to just make something that can be anything and no one's going to judge. Well, we're
exactly.
not. Someone else in the comments might judge, but we won't. Try not to. Yeah, no, just do it. Get out there and make something.
Great. Well, I guess that's the end of the stream. So thanks for watching with us and hanging out. Yeah, we'll be streaming again in about a month and can't wait to see what people make.
Yep.
Okay, so bye for now then.
Bye.